Alright everyone, there's a good video link in the description to Tim Pool's coverage of this, because they gotta talk about Seattle again, the Soviet Union over there. The one where Chaz collapsed and it's very sad, and they need to have a little memorial. They should have a memorial and it'll be like a statue, and it'll be an Antifa member about to beat an old lady with a mallet or something, because that would basically be like what Antifa and these groups really believe in. It's not a peace fest, it's not petitioning or protesting for a redress of grievances. It's just rioting and looting for rioting and looting's sake most of the time. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Anyway, in Seattle, apparently, the government there is concerned because people have begun to protest at the homes of like council members and stuff, threatening to break in, spray painting graffiti all over their homes, and all of a sudden, it's unlawful. It's a problem. Please go away. See, the funny thing is, they're even targeting people that have supported the idea of defunding the Seattle police to make it easier for people to go and riot. See, these are NIMBYers. I've complained of this for years. The far left in the United States is essentially just a club of gated community NIMBYs. These are the people who speak for the larger, broader movement at the organizational, especially moneyed level. They're NIMBYs. It's like if you look at their climate change proposals. Their climate change proposals are NIMBY proposals. Oh, just take the heavy industry out of the US and put it in China by taxing it out of existence here, hyper-regulating it. Send them over to Asia. Well, if it's not here, I can't smell the smog. It must be that climate change is getting better. Yeah, it'll definitely help with CO2 emissions in the US. Too bad Chinese emissions will double. The industry's still there. Hell, now there are no regulations for the workers that are working in those factories. Hurrah, our prices fell. And Karen can go to Walmart and get more cheap Chinese sweatshop made t-shirts. And another shitty iPhone, which is now 5% cheaper now that Apple put all of its workers in China. And shit like that. It's NIMBY crap. The idea of carbon taxes and stuff. Yes, you take Western industry and move it to the non-Western part of the world. Oh my God, the emissions are gone. At least in our statistics. The same thing happens here. These are like, it's like the 3 council members there that had private security guards guarding them and were taking taxpayer money to do so, which by the way should be totally illegal to do. You want to get rid of your dispatchers, defund the police by 50%, I guess cut their wages probably, keep them from using the equipment that they need when they're far left fucking rioting thugs throwing Molotovs around. But you expect to be protected. It's like when Feinstein has a concealed carry permit but hates guns. It's like when some anti-gun politician has armed guards following them around, which they shouldn't be allowed to do. Hold people to their own standards. Hypocrisy should be illegal in politics. Of course, then there wouldn't be anyone in politics. It'd be a big problem. We wouldn't have a government. I guess we'd be in Kapistan with recreational McNukes. I'm no hypocrite. I'm no hypocrite. I want far left groups to be able to get those McNukes too, because I'm tempted to believe I can probably deploy them more accurately than they can. I'm semi-joking here. A recreational McNuke does sound like a fun idea. They used to have the Davy Crockett. Couldn't they miniaturize it further? Couldn't they make it like a nuclear bullet or something? That would be great. And I don't mean like some Russian spy gadget with a polonium tip that kills you a few weeks later of massive systemic cancer. But the Seattle Cringe Fringe destroying itself is funny. Because the bite the hand that feeds it thing is what the left likes to do. It's the opposite of the right. And again, I've analyzed this. The right wing gets a mandate. They get a foot. You give them a foot and they take an inch. They get cowardly about it. They're like, oh my God, this is scary. I'm inching forward. And so they never really go anywhere. With the left, if you give them a foot, they'll take the foot, and then they'll start pulling for more. They'll start screeching and dragging you to the side and yelling about fascism. That's what's happening here. The fact is that this council didn't technically give the far left what it wanted. The far left, the people that are actually rioting, the people that are actually, after 7 weeks, willing to stand out in the rain in a drum circle for hours and in tents around a mayor's house or around a council person's house, are the furthest left. And they didn't think of this. Appeasing the kind of far left, the Bernie crowd, by saying, okay, well, we're going to defund the police by 50%, have social workers follow them around to de-escalate things. That's not what the far left asked for. They want a complete abolition of the police. They don't want police to exist at all. They want Antifa to be the police, basically. Anything short of that is not going to make them go away, and they're going to come for the council people. I have absolutely no goddamn sympathy whatsoever under the sun for a hypocrite politician to act like this, to openly avow and vote for this kind of change, to be harassed by you call them protesters. See, I call them rioters. I think that when you're throwing bricks, toppling statues, and burning things to the ground, burning Wendy's, again, which must smell good for the first 2 minutes, I think that's rioting. But these people have all disavowed that term. It's not a riot. It's a peaceful protest. Chaz was a peace zone too. Just ignore the 3 people dead because it existed for several weeks. It's a peace. These are protesters. They have a right to protest, right? Why can't they come and protest peacefully at your house? Why can't they blow through a bullhorn all night, terrifying your kids? Why is it that if it's anyone else's kids getting scared, if Cassandra Fairbanks is under her bed with a shotgun, no, but these people don't give a fucking shit. If I get assaulted in broad daylight by a BLM thug, they'll laugh about it. They'll think, well, he was a Nazi anyway, so it's okay. As soon as those groups show up at their homes, it's a big goddamn problem. These are the sorts of people who will go to a school board meeting and say, oh, I think it's fun. Yes, we need our schools to be more diverse. Our schools aren't diverse enough. But when it comes to the school that little Jimmy and Sally, their little lily white kids are in, all of a sudden that's not such a good idea, now is it? We don't want a diversity-included course in our school. We've got to teach macrame and home ec and stuff like that. Little Sally wants to be a chef when she's older. That's the sort of person. I hate these people more than, it doesn't even matter what their political affiliations are. There are people on the right that are just like this. Like holiness for me and not for thee sort of people. Like judgmental evangelo-cons that sin constantly and then they ramble about somebody else. I fucking hate these people. Oh yeah, 20 affairs, I'm a drunk all day, and I'm secretly smoking crack, but you're gay and going to hell. That's how these people work. The left is so much worse at this point. For a while there, they held to their guns. Back in 2010, 2011 or something, they actually believed in something. Now they're a bunch of NIMBY sellouts. It's sort of like watching the punk movement become commercialized or something like that. That's basically the perfect symbol of it. Green Day is the symbol of their fucking movement at this point. They still think they're anti-establishment. Through a haze of narcotic usage, they actually are dumb enough to believe it. You've got the entire corporate establishment, most political establishment, on the side of Antifa and BLM. Don't you think there's a fucking problem here? Don't you think that something might be a little hypocritical, either among the left or among the neoliberal Karen Club? I think that they're both a bunch of fucking hypocrites. I don't have any sympathy for these people at all. I think it's hilarious. I disavow violence, and I'd certainly disavow property damage, because wealth and property and things like that are very good. See, I'm a capitalist. I'm not a sellout hypocrite freak like these people with their $2,000 Apple devices rambling about how capitalism is bad. Fuckwads. I'm not a hypocrite, but when their home gets graffitied with big giant dicks or something like that, I do think it's funny. I find it amusing. Oh my god, they came to my house. I was so upset. I was so scared of these people. They tried to smash my door down. They've been doing that for 2 months almost now to all sorts of other people, and you said nothing. Well, I mean, if you're not willing to rise to the defense of other people, don't expect it from others. They're laughing at you, and you deserve it. I think it's hilarious. That's about all. Peace out.